Some of the older guys weren't, bought in initially, and I think that's fair to say. They'll agree to that. In fact, two of them were very, very adamant about how they didn't buy in early on and really regretted that about their season. And so, certainly, I think that initially we struggled, and there was not a doubt in my mind we were a better team than that. And even Coach Gray and Coach Jones and I talked about it at length, that this is a team that's going to win games. And towards the second half of the season, they started to get the tempo, the speed, the trust for the coaches that we knew what we were doing. And once that clicked, really I think a turning point was one of the players in particular kind of made a real drastic change in person and said, okay, what I'm doing is not working for me or for the team, and really did a 180, and the guys really gravitated to that, and it really flipped our season. And I think from that point on, that everybody was drinking the Kool-Aid, so to speak. So
the guys were great throughout the season. From our beginning with a slow start, I didn't sense that they were like, gosh, this is terrible, I want to quit. I didn't sense that at all. They're very positive kids. It says a lot about the kids in our community, and I think that's important. And we went through the tough stretch, and we continually talked about how we were improving. Right before the district tournament, last few practices, I asked how many of you felt that you've improved this year, and they all raised their hand. And how much have you learned? Have you learned a lot? And they've all raised their hands. So keeping them positive, it wasn't necessarily as difficult as I thought it might be when we were losing. For me, maybe it was harder to keep me and the rest of the coaches were positive. We struggled through some of those losses, but the guys were good to go. They came to play every day. And that's a challenge. If you look at my level, the higher the level you get, my personal philosophy, and there, a lot of coaches have a number of different philosophies, but at the junior level, there's a state tournament at the junior level. And if there's a state tournament, we want to win. We expect to win. And we obviously understand the team, everything you have with the team, your rapport, the team camaraderie, that's critical for the success of your team. So when you talk about competition versus playing time, with 18 guys, we talked about this at the beginning of the year, it was going to be difficult to get everybody playing time, but that challenge would breed competition, which it did. And we saw guys working harder, trying to earn spots, doing things that they may not normally do, more willing. Part of that positive attitude, they're like, well, I'll do this to get playing time. And at the junior level, it's about, winning is very important. There's more than winning, obviously. We want to develop good kids and help make their lives successful. But definitely, I would agree. I would think that at his level as well. And when you look at younger teams, that's skill progression, learning, getting better at what they're trying to do, understanding the game. And we do that at our level too. But when you have that state tournament, that's the ultimate goal. That's for my fans at least.
Sure. My big challenge was, I felt obligated to reward the guys who worked the hardest and the most diligent, and it meant the most too. Whether or not that's fair, I don't know. I don't know that if you are fair, that you're technically being fair to everybody. I think in itself, you can't have a blanketed rule that everybody plays, everybody participates. What does that mean? One person was like, is my kid going to play? So, he's not a starter. Oh, no, he doesn't have to start. I just want to know if he plays. Well, I'm not going to put him in for one at-bat when he's been sitting for 7 innings and, we got Greaser on the mound and he's in a groove. It's not going to be very successful for your kid. So I like to put kids in situations they're going to be most successful at and trying to gauge where their abilities are with regards to the opponent we're playing, the situations, the game, the level of the team we're playing, and those types of things. So I thought it was very, very important to set each kid up for success, whatever that means for each individual kid. And parents are going to disagree and agree across the board. My kid's good enough. Yeah, maybe. But I want to make sure that they walk away with a successful appearance, whatever that looks like. I feel that that's directed at us for sure, because if you watched any of the games we played against Seward, you can tell right then and there was a mental block. We had that team bested 3 times out of 5 and went over 5, especially in the tournament. We had them down 5-0 and gave up a 6-run inning. So it's just kind of one of those things where it's kind of like your older brother. You know, he gets the best of you so long, you're just not sure if you could ever beat him. And then once you do, he kind of quits playing against you. And so I think that we're on the cusp of that, and I feel very strongly about that, especially with the young team. It was tough. Young teams, you know, you go against your rival and you kind of get you the first time, especially up 9-1. We were 2 outs away from 8 running them, and ended up losing the game 10-9 or 11-10. Tough one to swallow, and that definitely solidified whatever mental block there was. So I think it's something where I misunderstood how valuable that beating that team is to these guys. You know, because again, we measure success in so many different ways. But certainly for this group of guys, Seward is a big time goal for next year going into the season.
I see the mental block 100%. There's no question with certain all athletics at York, and I try to take the approach, and sometimes I overemphasize a certain game or a certain town or team, but I try to take the approach, you know, just another game. Because if I come with that approach, saying we're just going to take care of business, we expect to win this. I feel that that might help overcome that. And sometimes I say, well, you know, it's Seward, we got you, this is what we want. But I try to be real careful with that. I'm still picking that philosophy, how I want to approach that with these guys. And this depends how they respond. And I've noticed that with coaching girls. That's why I've noticed the different mental blocks and try the best way to handle that. So, yeah, there was a few games where, like, if it was a team where I think this team would take care of business, we'd take them down today and get them buying into that. There's no question. I felt like we played more of those. So I try to stay away from saying one game or one place is different. You know, the scheduling of camps and things, basketball camps, football camps, I would say is a very small dilemma. Small concern. The summer leagues aren't on game nights. We can schedule games, so that's easy with the baseball schedule. There's very few. The weekend camps, every once in a while there's a few guys, but when you have 18 guys, you know, it's an opportunity for someone else. At least for our team, I think how it worked for you guys. When we'd lose a couple guys to a camp, shoot, I gave someone else a chance to step in. We felt very confident that's what they could do.
Actually, I felt really good about the football camp this year. I told the guys 1-9 back-to-back years, we got to fix that. So go to football camp. And I was very, very pleased when we were able to cancel the Aurora game. They actually canceled, but it definitely worked out in our favor because we had 6 kids missing because I told them, you're going to football camp. So it was a non-issue for me. I'm a football guy. I bleed football as much as I do baseball. And so I told these guys, absolutely go to camp. Basketball was a non-issue. They only let one guy play ball. None of the other sports impacted. We had state track, I think was the most as far as conflicting. But I didn't hold it against any of those players. Even to a fault, I think, because some of the other kids kind of felt slighted. But you know, when you miss for a school function, you should make penalized for that. Even though this is a non-school affiliated program, we still, you know, take a great deal of pride in our athletes competing in other sports, especially state track. That's a big deal, and so we're very proud of Billy and Reed being able to participate in that. We want to support them 100%.